If you've been on the internet enough, you've seen your fair share of internet arguments, maybe a little more than you wanted, maybe more than you could have ever hoped to conceive. And after looking at these cosmic man-made horrors beyond your comprehension, you may be wondering, what the fuck is going on? And to answer that question, we have to throw away all real-world knowledge of debate and argument. Because if you try to apply real-world dialectics into internet arguments, you will blow your brains out. And why is that? Well, there's one simple answer. In the real world, when you're face to face with someone, if they are so wrong it is impossible to convince them otherwise, you can just put your hands on them and strangle the life out of them. Unfortunately, the technology has not progressed enough to where you can punch someone through the screen, and so any hope of civilized argument has gone out the window. Because now, you can say whatever the hell you want with zero fear of corporal punishment. And with the only method keeping dumbass idiots in line gone, now it's a Wild West out there. But don't worry, there are still many methods that you can use to deal with emboldened digital dickheads. But first, before I get into any of these methods, I need to make it clear that most, if not all of the people you engage with on the internet will not change your minds if it costs them their soul. And that means your objective can't be something stupid like find common ground, because shit like that doesn't exist. This is a war zone, and your only goal is to piss off your opponent as much as humanly possible. But how do you go about employing this technique? There are so many ways to piss people off, it's hard to find the best method. But all of the best methods can trace back their ancestry to one cardinal virtue: complete and utter ignorance. This is the basis of any good keyboard warrior's repertoire. Any true internet denizen needs to make sure to be as lowbrow and degenerate as possible to any person they are currently debating with. This will prevent any novice, naive keyboard rookies from making the mistake of thinking that this is a civilized affair. And once you have successfully dragged them down to your level, you can utilize more potent techniques like ad hominem ad nauseum. Make sure to attack their personal character, no matter how irrelevant it is to the actual topic at hand. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a delicate geopolitical situation of some third world country. If you disagree even slightly with the opinion that you are seeing, you have to relentlessly and ruthlessly slander the rat bastard who dared to have a differing opinion than you. And in order to make the most out of your slander, you have to make sure to stake out every little bit of information to make the most calculated and evil attack, not only on who they are as a person, but also on the people they associate with, anything they remotely enjoy, and especially on the things they cannot control in the slightest. Easy targets are things like if they have any kind of infatuation with illustrations, have dead loved ones, or are just hideous to look at with the naked eye. Any of these weaknesses can grant you an easy victory in your online battle. But this technique is not foolproof, because sometimes you will find yourself arguing with someone who has legitimately nothing wrong with them. So plan A is out the window. But don't worry, your complete lack of argumentative skills will not lose you this fight, because you can again avoid arguing the topic by just changing the subject entirely. And the best time to change a topic is whenever your opponent brings up anything that slightly threatens your argument, because instead of actually having to formulate a well thought out response, all you have to do is extrapolate something they weren't actually saying and bring it up as a point of contention. This technique is great because it creates a negative feedback loop where you are never exerting yourself more than your opponent is. Watch them struggle pointlessly as all you have to do is copy paste what you just said again. And if they actually come up with a real response to the poorly thought out bullshit you just said, just deflect again, and they are straight back in hell. And after doing nothing but petty character attacks and circular reasoning, be prepared to claim victory, regardless of the actual efficacy of any of your arguments. Because if you say something enough, eventually people start to believe it. And this works especially well if there's no one left to refute it because your opponent has left. This means that not only are you allowed to parade yourself around as a self-proclaimed winner, but you are now also free to publish any kind of libel about the loser. Because if they try to say anything back to you, well, it doesn't matter, they're a fucking loser. But there's something I haven't addressed yet. What if this doesn't work? What if you find yourself on the losing end of one of these conflicts? First of all, don't panic. It always makes it worse for you. If you have drawn the ire of your observers, then nothing can really remedy that. At this point, you'll be ridiculed for doing basically anything. It will be oppressive and tyrannical to the point where you will not even be able to show your face without multiple people attempting to dunk on you. Anything that comes out of your mouth will almost immediately be transformed into nuclear-grade ammo. The first option is to just pretend that you were joking the whole time and you were not sincere about anything you just said. Make sure to twist your words so that anyone who got on your ass for any kind of reason was just an idiot who just took the bait you so masterfully planted, because it is imperative that you maintain that you were actually much smarter than everyone else interacting with you. And if this doesn't work, do a full 180 and grovel at the knees of anyone who will look your way. Make sure you shift your tone so much and so jarringly that everyone around you becomes much more uncomfortable. Make sure that you show off exactly how much every single person's words have hurt you, and appear as tearful and distraught as possible to the people who wronged you while you plot their painful and horrible demise. At the same time, try not to shoulder any of the blame for the situation you have created for yourself. This only complicates things, and in the end, you're better off looking like a little bit of a bitch. If only because it's much better than being a lolcow. But we can put ourselves in a better position than this. None of these ridiculous labels will need to apply to you because there's a place where none of them matter. Outside, turn off your damn phone and go there.